Penn State will kick off. Wisconsin will receive. Enzel Doe is back deep, along with James White.
And get ready to see a lot of Monte ball and a lot of run out of these Badgers on what is a brisk, very windy afternoon with swirling winds. And the quarterback making just his third start. I expect to see plenty of Monte this afternoon.
This is Doe with the 4. And Doe hit hard at the 27-yard line by Stephon Morris, one of those 30 seniors, starting DB, playing his final home game. Well, the starting quarterback for the Wisconsin Badgers, Kurt Phillips, making just his 3rd start. Last week played well, albeit in a loss against Ohio State, completing 56% of his passes, 2 touchdowns against no interceptions. He's the 3rd different starting quarterback that Wisconsin has had this season. First down and 10. Monte Ball, the single back in the backfield. Abradaris in motion. And Ball with a nice gain of about 7.5 into the boundary. Got a good block from Rick Roy. Meanwhile, there's a look at Gerald Hodges wearing Michael Mahdi's number. Mahdi, the injured player, the linebacker, not playing for Penn State. There he is wearing the headset. What does he bring?
He's the second leading tackler. He is the inspiration. It really says something when they put your number on a helmet for not just your teammates, but for everyone around the country to take a look at. These linebackers are going to have to play very well in his absence.
On 2nd and short, they give us the Ball again, who picks up the first down. All the way now in the backfield, the Ball on the sidelines. Give us to White. He's brought down after a gain of about 1 by Jordan Hill, another one of those seniors. Let's go downstairs to Jessica for more.
Mark, Brock, I caught up with Mahdi right before the game, and he talked about what it meant to have 42 on each one of these helmets. And guys, he had to hold back the tears. He was incredibly emotional in what this team means to him and the fact that they are representing him. But he did say, kind of brought it back around, said, you guys, I'm not dead, I am still here.
Defensive coordinator Ted Roof says he's the best one that he's ever coached. And that's saying a lot. 2nd down and 9. On the bootleg, wide open, and a nice catch on the play. Still on the move. Touchdown, Badgers! Melvin Gordon takes it the distance. And the silence here, deafening at the moment. A 57-yard play. And great execution by Wisconsin.
Wisconsin does such a nice job of hiding some of their skilled players. Gordon came in motion. Penn State didn't find him. Good play action, excellent delivery. And as you said, a silencing big play to quiet these hometown fans.
Well, Brett Bielema's team already with a spot locked up in the conference championship game next week.
Within your assignments, yet channel that emotion, a difficult and demanding challenge.
It comes down to 11-yard line. Trevor Williams on the return out to about the 23, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for this week's Big Ten Conference Player of the Week, Matt McGloin.
What a fantastic season he has had, Mark.
61%, a different quarterback from a season ago. 23 touchdown passes against just 5 interceptions. Threw for almost 400 yards last week in their win against Indiana. 1st down and 10 from the 22. Bowen looks the throw, fires high and incomplete. Intended for Matt Lehman. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Unfortunately for Bill O'Brien, I said in the open, you paired together some really tough seniors with a tough-minded head coach. Unfortunately for him, he got a high IQ quarterback in Matt McGloin, a 5th-year senior that can handle everything that O'Brien wants to do week to week in their matchups.
Did a nice job of learning the nuances of this offense that O'Brien brought from New England, and a nice run by Zach Swinick out beyond the 30, close to the 1st down at the 31. Got about 9 Sets up a 3rd down and 1. Tempo going to be a key buzzword for them, right?
It sure is. And as you see, that first half touchdown, the only one Penn State gave up in the first quarter all season long.
Zwinak going to be stopped up right around that 1st down marker. The spot is going to be beyond the 1st down marker, and they'll move the chains.
Now this is a very stout front 7 in Wisconsin defensively, one of the better rush defenses in America, one of the more physical crews that Bill O'Brien has played against. You can just see the size, 670 pounds between those 2 D tackles inside, and getting any run sets up what this group does best, their play action pass.
Here's Zwinak out to the 38-yard line. Armstrong making the stop on the gain of 6. Let's take a look at today's impact players brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse.
Keep an eye on Robinson outside. He's their go-to receiver, 6'3", likes the high point. Zwinak is downhill, no nonsense. Hill and Hodges in that front 7 for Penn State defensively. Not a great opening series. They're their 2 best players and most productive in the front 7.
That pass incomplete by McGloin. Intended for Lehman again. How tough is it, Brock, when you have a new offensive system come in, and how quick is it to pick up?
Well, especially a pro-style one with all of the checks, with all of the work at the line of scrimmage and protections and play calls. It can be very challenging. But as I said, a high IQ 5th-year senior that wanted it. He wanted the challenge, and he stepped up this season and had a brilliant year.
3rd down and 4. Pass incomplete and a flag thrown on the play. Intended for Zwinak out of the backfield. Sheldon Johnson in on the coverage for the Badgers. The strong safety. Tell you, it is windy down there. You see the flags blowing, and passing the ball going to be very tricky today.
And remember the rule in the college game. There's no real face guarding.
Pass interference. Defense number 10. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
However, if that contact impedes the offensive player from going and getting it, you're going to draw that flag from those referees. So not necessarily just the face guarding, but that early contact, not allowing Zwinak a chance to get back to the ball. That draws the penalty and moves the chains.
Brett Bielema's defense has only allowed 15.3 points a game in the last 6 conference games. We talked about how stout they've been. And this amongst the least penalized teams in FBS.
Watch play pass. Once you get in this neck of the field, and this is your go zone and take a shot, especially with one single safety, all the check with me, a great area for your play action shots.
Zwinak between the tackles. Down to the 43-yard line. Ethan Armstrong there to make the stop for the Badgers, along with David Gilbert. Picked up about 3 on the play.
Watch
down and 7.
Armstrong today is going to have to fill in. We talk about the loss of Nittany on the other side for Penn State. Wisconsin without their best defensive player. Chris Borland, their middle linebacker, will not play today, so Armstrong going to slide in and play the middle.
McGloin slipped, but got it to Zwinak on the screen. And he makes it down to the 39-yard line, sets up a 3rd down and about 2. Landish making the stop on the gain of 5. This offense is pretty multiple, isn't it, of Penn State?
Lots of formations, many personnel groups, lots on the quarterback to handle. Think Tom Brady and all of his check with me. And as the season's evolved, O'Brien's trusted McGloin more and more to handle that dense playbook.
Allen Robinson is top receiver, but they're going to run it this time. Zwinak will get the 1st down at the 34-yard line. Got about 5 on the play. He's the leading rusher for them coming in with 821 yards, averaging almost 5 yards a pop.
#1 fullback recruit in America coming out of high school. Really little used the first 2 years, just a couple carries, and this year 5 100-yard games, as you've seen early in this drive. No nonsense, north and south.
There's the play action. Underneath and incomplete at the 30-yard line, broken up by Landish and Taylor. Intended for Zwinak. Zwinak has a little bit of a hot hand. He ran for a career-high 135 yards last week in the win against Indiana. There's a look at Borland on the sidelines. Backs lining up out of the eye on 2nd and 10. Strange strange silence here in the stadium. Warren given plenty of time. Nobody open downfield, and finally finds his receiver at the 29-yard line. That's Gary Gilliam picking up 5. It'll be third down coming up. There's a look at Borland. Leads the team in sacks. Arguably the hardest hitter on that Wisconsin defense. He's fortunately not in uniform.
And he's battling a hamstring that kept him out a week ago. And remember, these Badgers going to be playing in that Big Ten championship against Nebraska next weekend. They need their best player defensively to be healthy for that one.
3rd and 5, the 11th play of the drive. Warren caught. And down to the 17-yard line. Jesse James, the tall target, at all of 6'7".
What an awesome job by McGloin. He wanted to go the other way and come back to the quick screen. Instead, he retreats, he buys time, and as you said, you have a 6'7" tight end, go up and let him get it.
Zwinak now on the right side of that offensive line behind Farrell and Herschel. Got about 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
That's going to be a win, Mark, this afternoon. 3, 5 yards, early down runs, because as I said earlier, what McGloin really likes to do, I asked him yesterday his favorite play, and it's all the play action pass, the shots downfield to those tight ends, all set up by the early down run success.
Zwinak again. Popped up right around that 1st down marker. Having a lot of success between the tackles. Johnson making the stop.
And what a great look there. And this is where some of the matchup comes in with Penn State. I had not seen this kind of run action here much this season, but knowing how aggressive Wisconsin is, their leading tacklers, all those linebackers, did you see the fast flow and then the hand back the other way? Excellent execution in the run game.
It's Zwinak again in the run game. Down to the 3-yard line. He's got 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games, 5 in all in the season. Picked up 4.
He also had 29 carries against Indiana, 28 against Northwestern. At 6'1", 232 pounds on a cold, windy Big Ten kind of day. Do you think he minds toting it 30 times?
This is what November football is like in this conference. 2nd and goal coming up. Zwinak gets it again. Touchdown, Nittany Lions. So Penn State answers Wisconsin's opening salvo with one of their own.
You asked me earlier, how do you handle some of the emotion? The easiest way to do it offensively is exactly what they executed on that drive. Go hit your opponent in the mouth, keep it simple, run right at them. And that's a good omen for a Penn State team built on run and play pass.
Pretty good answer in that scoring drive, 15 plays. Using up almost 5 minutes on the clock, and the way in which they did it, Brock, was pretty methodical.
That's exactly right. 3 third-down conversions. That's what you're going to have to do it against Wisconsin. They don't typically give up the big play. You're going to have to earn it. Penn State did on that opening offensive drive.
Denzel Doe. Doe with an alley. There's a flag down. Doe down to the 48. Great burst that time by Denzel Doe, the sophomore. Flag back at the 29-yard line.
It's pretty remarkable. A Wisconsin team, on average, just 3.5 penalties a game. #1 in America a season ago, and already in Bielema sees it, and he's letting them know that's 2 critical calls. Pass interference, and now a call here that could bring back some significant amount of real estate.
There is no foul on the play. The block was a side block.
Let's go back to Wendy in the studio.
Seven-yard return for Wisconsin. Tackle by number 97, Sam Ficken for the Nittany Lions. First and 10 going after
All right, Wendy, the ball all the way out to the 47-yard line for Wisconsin, their second series of the game. Aberderis on the fly sweep, got it with a good head of steam. Aberderis with a nice cut all the way down to the 29.
And off to number 4, Jared Aberderis.
A gain of 24 on the play. Look at Bill O'Brien. He was working the officiating crew for that call. I mean, working them like a part-time job, working them. He was giving it to everybody. First down and 10. Monte Ball in the backfield.
A lot of focus on Monte Ball, so what does Wisconsin do wisely? Gets to the perimeter. 2 big plays here in the first quarter.
A toss to ball into the boundary. Got those shoulders squared a little bit, picked up about 6. Remember, his next touchdown will set a new NCAA record for career touchdowns, 79.
5 yards on the run.
Elite players have an impact on a game, not only when they get the touches themselves and break records, but when that defense is so focused in. And watching the walkthrough yesterday and the attention to detail of knowing where 28 is, well, it's opened the door for Gordon's 70-yard touchdown reception for Aberderis on the end around, making everyone around you better. That's what the elite ones do.
2nd and 5. Pedersen in motion. There's Ball, got the first down at the 17-yard line. You think about 2 years ago when he didn't start, didn't get much run as his mom watches their all bundled up. She looks cold. He's gotten the support of Melissa, his mom, and his dad, Monte Sr. 2 years ago when he didn't play against Ohio State, he thought about, maybe I should play linebacker. Called his dad and said, "Are you serious, son? You're a tailback, man. Stick with it."
Go out and lose 25 pounds, get in the best shape of your life, and run away with this job.
That's exactly what he did. First down and 10. The toss to Ball. Got a great block on the edge. Ball. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Derek Watt turned him loose with a great block for the touchdown. And just like that, the Badgers take the lead again.
And you just witnessed college football history, the best of all time. Mom is cold and bundled up. She knows there may be 2 or 3 more of those coming the way that Wisconsin's running it right now.
He's keeping that game ball, too.
That is classic Badger football. Get those big fellas out in front. In the fullback, Derek Watt, the redshirt freshman, JJ's little brother, cutting down the perimeter play. And that's much too easy for the Badgers.
A new NCAA record with his 79th career touchdown. The extra point good. Strong guys locally. You always used to say, I get the offensive linemen from Wisconsin and Iowa, go shopping for the hands and speed in Florida and other places. Here's Williams. Williams out beyond the 25 to the 27. Let's go back to our studio with Wendy. What about that? All right, Wendy, back here, first down and 10 from the 27-yard line. State with the ball for the second time in this game. Lloyd with a quick 2-step drop. Hit his receiver in stride for the first down at the 41-yard line. Matt Lehman again.
Such a nice job with their tight ends. That's where they create mismatches. Lehman's a tight end. We saw James earlier. You keep base defense on the field. You get the matchup you want.
Winak trying that right side of the offensive line. Another gain of about 7 on the play. Are you surprised with the prolific scoring so far, albeit early in this game?
Well, I am most surprised the way the Penn State is running it right at this front 7. This is a crew that's number 9 in America. I mentioned earlier, 360 pounds at D tackle. They are stout in their front 7. Bill O'Brien told me quite honestly he didn't know if he could run it all at this group. And they're not just having a little bit of success, they're having a lot running right at them.
healthy rushing average so far by the Nittany Lions. Play clock down to 2. And going wisely, throws it away, and it's caught. Wow. It looked like he was trying to throw it out of bounds, but Lehman said, hey, let me go get it. An 8-yard pickup and a first down.
That's 6'6" tight end. Tremendous job for the redshirt junior who's gone from Shippensburg University to Penn State, Harrisburg University to Penn State to finally find a home here with the Nittany Lions.
What a catch, and keeping those feet in bounds. Got the 1 down. Here's Swinak. Got 2 on the play. 2nd down and 3. This quarterbacking situation has been interesting for Penn State. When you look at McGloin, started as a walk-on, and his leadership deserves a lot of the credit for this offensive success they've had this year. His improved mechanics. 3 quarterbacks battle for the job earlier, and Bill O'Brien told us a great anecdote about how he realized McGloin was the one. We'll tell you that on the other side of this play. 2nd and 7. Swinak again stopped up at about the 40. During 3-a-days in the spring, or 2-a-days, pardon me, 3 quarterbacks battling for the position. He was sitting them down and quizzing them. He said, guys, I want you to draw up Guns Trip R634 Sneak. Brock, it's a play that you know well, I'm sure. He said McGloin went right up to the board and was the first one to map it out and draw the intricacies of the play. And that was the tipping point, the moment that he knew that that was his guy. 3rd down and 7. We looking at 4-down territory, Brian?
I think you may. Some of the struggles that Penn State has had in the special teams game.
Going a little high and incomplete, but there's a flag down. Intended for Trevor Williams. Good pressure up front by Mike Taylor.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, 76 offense. Personal foul, 96 defense. Those penalties offset, replay 3rd down.
Both respective head coaches looking a little perplexed on the sidelines. Going to run this one again.
We talked about some of the emotion that comes into this game, and for some of these, not some, all of these seniors for Penn State playing the final game. Been chippy and physical at the line of scrimmage.
Names we haven't heard so far, partner. Allen Robinson, the leading receiver for the Nittany Lions. Might this be the time? Going up top, a little bit of contact, and incomplete. Good pressure up front coming from David Gilbert on McGloin. And it's 4th down.
And that's been some of the surprise here as well. This Wisconsin crew not real good at getting after the passer. Just 53rd in America in sacks, but they're getting enough push. And you saw earlier McGloin having a conversation with his lineman, not real happy about how many times those defenders have been in his face, not allowing him to get into some of the timing and the rhythm necessary in this pro-style system.
Alex Butterworth punting from midfield. And Aberdare. 1st down and 10. James White in the backfield now. Little ace formation, 2 tights and 2 wideouts. White gets the call, and he's brought down right near the line of scrimmage. Interesting that just a couple of years ago, James White wasn't the guy in the backfield. It wasn't Monte Bald. It was James White, the freshman of the year in the Big Ten.
So the last drive you called out McGloin's favorite play. This drive you're calling ace 2 tight ends. I mean, you were in the book this week.
I used to hang out with Dick Vermeil a lot doing college football. 2nd down and 10. Of course, I picked up so much stuff with those film sessions with you this year as well, Brian. Pedersen in motion. Pass complete out of the backfield. That's the fullback, Derek Watt, still on his feet enough to pick up the 1st down. Just beyond the 30, picked up 11 on the play. Hey, what does it say about Kurt Phillips that he's kind of played it right down the middle of the highway right now, and pretty well, too.
Well, it says he fits this system really well. Fifth-year senior, 3 ACL surgeries, story well documented, but he can come in here and he can operate. It's not a pro-style system with all the checks and everything McGloin's got to do, but it's a lot of run, and then it's being efficient in that play-action pass, and he's good on the move. 2 for 2 already in this first quarter.
Fake the fly sweep. Give it to White. White picks up about 3 on the play. Mike Hull making the stop.
Number 43, Mike Hull.
It's pretty remarkable. All season long, that's 11 games, 2 field goals was all this group had given up defensively. And right now, Wisconsin having their way. Inside, outside, the toss sweep, the zone run, the play action off of it. And I think doing more than anything, a really nice job with the window dressing. Some of those shifts and motions ahead of time right now, giving that emotional Penn State defense a lot of different targets to look at.
2nd and 6. Incomplete. Abradaris had him hit it in the hands and couldn't hang on to it. That's a catchable pass.
That's a corner blitz. That's right where you want it. That's a receiver and a quarterback being on the same page. Into the sidelines, you see the corner blitz, you just got to finish that. And Abradaris, leading receiver by a long ways. Usually sure-handed on the other end. It's a big play for Penn State's defense, and this crowd knows it.
Monte Ball back in the game. Little pressure coming on defense. O'Brien had time and fires incomplete. Intended for Pedersen, and it's 4th down, they'll punt.
And I love the call. Ted Roof said enough's enough. I'm going to be the aggressor here and bring the inside linebackers. Ball steps up. He does his job. Unfortunate maybe on the back end with some early contact there by Mike Hull. Did not get the call on the tight end Pedersen, and most importantly for Penn State to find a way to get off the field defensively.
Drew Meyer's going to punt for Wisconsin.
If you can just find early down success, that will be the key here all late afternoon in Pennsylvania for the Nittany Lions. Find a way to get Wisconsin into 3rd and passing situations, and conversely for Wisconsin, those 2 touchdown drives, they saw very little 3rd down on action in those early downs. That run game can be the story here in the narrative throughout.
First punt of the day for Drew Meyer, the Badgers. A spiral going all the way down to the 21-yard line. Evan Lewis is brought down immediately after the 43-yard punt. Well, the 14th annual ACC Big Ten Challenge kicks off Tuesday night on ESPN. 7:30, number 16 NC State taking on number 4 Michigan. Then at 9:30, North Carolina and Indiana square off for the first time since 2004. The ACC Big Ten Challenge presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. NC State, Michigan at 7:30, and then North Carolina, Indiana. And brought down immediately is Trevor Williams. Nowhere to go after the pass complete by McGloin.
And you said it earlier, a little bit surprised we've not seen more of number 8, and that's Allen Robinson, and he's the impact player for Matt McGloin. His target outside has had such a phenomenal year. It's broke the single season record in receptions. And right now, Penn State having a hard time with some of this zone coverage to get him a one-on-one.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Winak on the draw, nice burst up the middle. And a first down at the 34-yard line. Gotta like that play call, huh? 15-yard pickup for the Nittany Lions.
You'll see that a bunch in the NFL. You get stuffed on first down. You want to try to avoid 3rd and extra long. You do that with your big bruiser running back. Give a lot of credit to the interior of this Penn State offensive line. They're getting movement, creating some creases, and giving Zwinak an opportunity to get started.
Gets them into the right play. Such was the design, a gain of about 2. You know, it was interesting in our meeting with Bill O'Brien, asking him what trait or what skill from the NFL he thinks translated and helped him here in the college environment. He says, very frankly, I don't BS these kids, quote unquote.
No nonsense, straight up, and these kids have been excited, especially this quarterback, to learn an NFL-style system.
Warren going to take a shot up top. And incomplete. Intended for Mosby Felder. Marcus Cromartie there on coverage, and that's the end of the first 15 minutes.
Let's see if they can free up their go-to guy here. Wisconsin doing a nice job keeping an eye on Mr. Robinson.
Right here.
Warren given time, finds his target for the first down at the 47-yard line. Mosby Felder came right back to him, and this time able to connect.
One of the differences there on the first drive, 3 for 3 on third down. The last drive, too much pressure, too much penetration by Wisconsin. A much better job by the group up front, giving McGloin time. If they give him time, more than capable to get through his progressions. Double move.
Got a man and almost intercepted, underthrew it, intended for Robinson. Let's go down to Jessica.
Well, Mark, you guys talk about the emotion and the fieriness of Matt McGloin. Yesterday, I went to their walkthrough, and he had underthrown one of his wide receivers, and he got so fired up. Bill O'Brien said, hey, this is a walkthrough. I know it's your last, but you need to control these emotions, be able to stay calm, save it for tomorrow. But that's the kind of guy and player Matt McGloin is.
A great leader, as stated by his head coach O'Brien. Second down and 10. Anderson gets his first touch, nowhere to go though. Going in the wrong direction. He's going to be marked all the way back to the 42-yard line. Mike Taylor making the stop, a loss of 5.
Now take a look at these flags. We've seen on 2 occasions McGloin, and he was out early in pregame trying to find just the directions of these swirling winds here in this stadium. And you've seen 2 deep balls, the miss right before the end of the quarter and a double move to Robinson where that ball hung up. You got to find a way to cut the wind on those deep shots, a little bit more velocity than normal.
Third and long. Under a little duress and sacked back at the 28-yard line. Brought down by Brendan Kelly. And the Badgers get that offense off the field.
And this is a win. If Wisconsin can rush 4 and do that kind of damage, you're going to have very little success. And that's Adam Gress, the redshirt junior right tackle, abused by Kelly. What a nice move. Wisconsin good on third downs. They mix up their zones, they mix up their coverage, and that time getting home with just 4.
Third sack of the season for Kelly. A high punt.
Just dies in the wind.
Kind of fortuitous roll though. Wisconsin with the ball, first down and 10. Hands it off the ball. Already has broken the NCAA record today for career touchdowns. And let's take a look at today's Dave and Buster's playbook.
And he broke that record on this play. And what you love is watch the big fellas, 348 pounds, 320 pounds, and the fullback as well, all get out in front. It's not just about being big at Wisconsin. It's about being mobile, cutting people down, pancaking them to the ground on a play that will forever be etched into the memory banks because of the record setting. You couldn't have a more perfect play to epitomize what Brett Bielema wants to do offensively.
Hey, but being big helps, man. Don't sleep on being big. Second and 9. Nice little toss to ball into the boundary, has the first down and then some. Brock, you alluded to it a little bit earlier. The fact that James White was actually the freshman of the year a couple of seasons ago. The 2 of them split carries, and then the following year, Ball showed up 25 pounds lighter and won the job outright and went on to rush for almost 2,000 yards last season.
1923 and 39 of his record-setting touchdowns a season ago. It's a kid realizing and maximizing his opportunities.
First and 10. Nice spin move by Ball, and it brought down at the 48-yard line. Glenn Carson making the stop. And if you're into social media, I'm told by Jim Zaroli, our producer, that Monte Ball now trending on Twitter. Some good backs at Wisconsin. Think about Anthony Davis and Ron Dane.
Well, pretty cool that this university can hang its hat, and we'll get into it this afternoon, what Brett Bielema was talking about with recruiting, but they can hang their hat and say, we got the most prolific rusher in the history in Ron Dane and over 7,000 yards, and now the most prolific scorer in Monte Ball as well.
On 2nd and 8, tossed a ball. Flag down, and ball brought down at the 45. Got about 3 on the play. Massaro made the stop for Penn State.
Typically, you know, where that flag is thrown, that's going to be a holding on the backside as they're trying to cut, or maybe a chop block trying to hold or cut down that backside pursuit.
Holding. Offense, number 54. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
All right, so that's going to come back.
Two coaches very enjoyable to talk to this week, wasn't it? Tom O'Brien on the Penn State side, and Brett Bielema as well. Just talking about all the things that he had to do with this group this season. 3 quarterbacks, 6 new coaches that he had to integrate into the system here at Wisconsin.
And a big change after that Oregon State game with his staff too, Brock.
Mike Markuson, the offensive line coach that he hired this offseason to maybe tweak a little bit. It didn't work. And they went back to some of that old school hitching them out downhill ball. And Brett Bielema, a joy to talk to this week and learn a little bit more of what Wisconsin likes to do.
2nd and 18, O'Brien back to pass. Going to try and take off. Made it back near midfield at the 49. Pete Massaro making the tackle for the Nittany Lions. A gain of 7 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 11 coming up. What do you like here for the Badgers looking forward?
Well, this is where you got to be careful with Phillips. His strength is not going to be just the drop back game, but there's clearly 2 guys Wisconsin looks to in these moments. Abradaris and the tight end Pedersen. They like to usually spread it out and try to create matchups for both of those guys to win.
Talking about their 1st and 2nd leading receivers on the team in Abradaris and Pedersen. Phillips found Abradaris, and it's a 1st down at the 36-yard line. He was working against Stephon Morris, the senior, but a pickup of 15, and they moved the chains.
You know, you have a program with everybody buying in when the leading scorer in the history of college football is willing to do that, willing to step up in pass protection, hit that blitzing free safety in the mouth, and give his buddies on the outside the opportunities we talked about. Get the ball to your best player, and on the perimeter, that's Abradaris for the Badgers.
James White in the ball game takes the direct snap. And nowhere to go, brought down almost immediately at the 35-yard line. Glenn Carson making the stop on the play for Penn State. 2nd down and 9. That was the barge formation, right?
Take a look at this, my friends. That's 2 extra linemen, the 2 tight ends, and 2 running backs. That's over 3,000 pounds. How to equate that to in your game that you love, that hoops game, the 1-4. Right. You get those guys down court. Not quite 3,000 pounds on the hardwood, but you try to just get a body on a body and allow your little point guard, your running back, to find a lane.
That's a lot of cornbread up front. Monte Ball between the tackles. Down to the 32. Let's go back to Wendy in the studio. 3rd and 7. Ball in the backfield. Abradaris. And they give it to Ball. Nowhere to go. Eluded a couple of tacklers, but stopped up short of the 1st down. Ball comes loose, but it was dead. Glenn Carson made the stop. It's 4th down. Let's go down to Jessica.
Brock, not only did Jordan Hill not want to leave Penn State, but all week long, knowing this was his last week, he didn't want to leave campus. He did not want to leave the football field. He said he was just kind of hanging around. He even told me, he's like, I will be crying during this game.
Yeah, we saw some tears from him, Jessica, prior to the game during the walk to the stadium as they got off the bus. Wisconsin going for it on 4th down. They're 8 of 15 in such situations this year.
Keep an eye right here. He likes Pedersen in these moments. And Abradaris up top in a one-on-one.
O'Brien has Abradaris, got the 1st down. They convert, but there's a flag down on the play. Abradaris working against Stephon Morris.
Illegal motion. Offense, number 29. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Boy, a lot of penalties against the Badgers, uncharacteristic of them
You
on
want
the season.
You want to draw the ire of Brett Bielema. You get your team penalized. I like what he said. I spent a year working with Mike Bellotti, and he would say it all the time too. And that is, more teams find a way to lose games than they do really win them. And that is with their own mistakes. That's turnovers, that's penalties. And right now, a couple critical ones, including this one that's now going to force a punt.
There's a punt from Meyer. During that break, he's down in 10. Michael Zordich on the run, and Zordich going to be stopped up just shy of the 25-yard line. That's the first carry for somebody not named Zwinak today. Zordich, another one of those seniors, a 6'1", 236-pound grad student, actually. Second down and 5.
Wisconsin playing a lot of those two safeties. A lot of this check with me centered around those box counts.
Zordich again with nowhere to go, stopped up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and about 6 to go. You talk about the two safety looks, the check with me's.
Yeah.
Who's winning the battle so far in that game of strategy?
Well, I think early on you saw Penn State and that ability to run it on that first drive where they possessed it in 15 plays, converted third downs. But right now, Wisconsin finding a way to get off blocks. These linebackers and this defense line pushed around early are winning inside, allowing Wisconsin to do what they want to do. And that's limit the big play with a lot of that safety help.
3rd and 6, McGloin cut it off and picked off, intercepted at the 32 by Mike Taylor. Just barely got it off the ground, off his shoe tops. They might take one more look at it. It's going to be close. One more look says, I'm not sure he caught that.
I don't think he did either, and I think his reaction kind of says it all, because typically those guys will get up with a play like that and let you know they got it. And for Mr. McGloin, he's got to be patient. He's got to know against this group, you have got to be methodical like that opening
Ruling
drive.
on the previous play was a completed catch. The previous play is under further review.
I think the ground made that catch.
James White in at tailback. Abradaris in motion. It's going to be White who picks up about 3. Let's talk about the quarterbacking position this year for Wisconsin. A major departure from who they had there last year, who's in Seattle, your hometown now.
Yeah, I love what Brett Bielema said. He said, if I would have had Russell Wilson for 4 years, we would have rewritten every record in the record book. And instead, he's walked into a situation with Danny O'Brien that struggled early. The quarterback that you mentioned there, Mr. Joel Stave, who broke his collarbone, he's out. Now he's on the third stringer. And the only good news, the third stringer knows this program inside and out. 5 years, 3 ACL injuries, is comfortable with the identity of this team, and really speaks to when you hear coaches and programs and you hear them talked about knowing what we are and knowing what that identity is. Kurt.
James White in at tailback, Kurt Phillips under the center. And White run out of bounds at about the 45-yard line, got about a yard on the play.
I'll be curious with this call here. This is your third down. We talked about earlier some of the narrative being, can Penn State force Wisconsin into some passing situations? And right here, you're right on the threshold, and I wouldn't be surprised. We saw Wisconsin a week ago run it a bunch on third down. That's a good look at Ted Roof, the defensive coordinator. Now, I wouldn't mind spreading this thing out, finding a way and trying to still establish what you do best, which is that run game.
Monte ball to back. Phillips incomplete. It appeared to go right through the hands of Jared Abradaris.
And guess who?
Good pressure up front by Jordan Hill again.
That's exactly right. And Jess talking about how emotional Jordan was going to be and how he didn't want to leave the facility this week. Been a difference maker in the run game early. And watch him in the one-on-one. That's just simply too easy against left guard Ryan Groy. All hands. You get your hands on, no matter how big and strong those Wisconsin linemen are, you get your hands on them first. You get an opportunity to win.
Meyer standing at his own 30. Line drive punt Fair catch called at the 22-yard line. 37-yard punt, nothing on the return.
33-yard punt, no return. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Nittany Lions at their 22.
First and 10. Zwinak leaping through the hole and makes it out to the 29-yard line. Ethan Armstrong made the tackle for the Badgers defensively. Gain of about 7 on the play.
7 yards on the run. 2nd and 3.
Patience is a virtue. Bill O'Brien knows it. Been play calling a long time. But his senior quarterback needs to settle down a little bit and realize against this group, that's how you're going to have to do it.
Zwinak again. Popped up a little bit short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and short coming up. Derek Landish made the tackle. What about that conversion? You talked about Zwinak being the top-ranked fullback in the country coming out of high school, but the tailback, that sounds a little incongruous, Brock.
And he tears the ACL his freshman year, has 3 carries last season. But he's a big physical guy, and that's the one element that I think Bill O'Brien really points to is how much this team loved that weight room, a real change in identity there, and Zwinak the feature guy.
On the counter, and Zwinak gets the first down, gaining 3 yards with under 4 minutes to go here in the first half.
And I asked Bill O'Brien just point blank when he felt like these kids gained his trust and vice versa. And he said, I'll tell you, right when we came in, we took that whole weight room apart. We brought in a whole new system and weights, and these guys, blue collar, many of them, tough, all of them, really bought in and really started this spring with that kind of investment.
Down to 10, McGowan, one of those leaders, incomplete, in and out of the arms. And there's a flag down on the play.
I think that's going to be a hold because once again, Wisconsin getting home with just a 4-man rush.
Holding, offense number 76. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
McGloin doing what he can to get his buddy Allen Robinson started outside. But McGloin right now is uncomfortable in that pocket. And Bill O'Brien knows from his years in the NFL, if Wisconsin can rush 4, and they're getting after McGloin and they're hitting him and they're beating Donovan Smith and Mike Farrell and they're beating and winning those one-on-ones up front. And if he doesn't have time to get comfortable and set his feet, going to be a long afternoon.
Makes it first down and 20. Zwinak looking for an alley, picks up about 4. Let's go back to Wendy in the studio.
Stop by Mike Taylor. Gain of 4, 2nd and 16 at the 27.
All right, Wendy back here, 2nd and 16, under 3 minutes to go in the first half. McGloin steps up, completes it at the 31-yard line. The catch made by Zwinak, hit immediately by Mike Taylor.
Tackle by Mike Taylor. Gain of 4.
Both these teams had impressive opening drives, and then after Wisconsin's second one, the scoring drought began. Neither team has scored since that time. 3rd down and 12 coming up for the Nittany Lions. Little heat off the edge. McGloin escapes Gilbert. And incomplete at the 43-yard line intended for Robinson. And it's 4th down. They'll have to punt. Devin Smith thought that he might have had an interception there for a second.
And Gilbert kicking himself there. That had moved him past his buddy Borland to be the leading sacker for the Badgers. He's 2nd on the year. But been a difficult first half. It's not the way it was scripted or game planned for Matt McGloin, but he's got to realize, looking at that scoreboard, they will get the ball to start the second half. Root on that defense, hope to go in down just 7.
4th punt of the day for Butterworth. And he gets a nice roll. It's going to carry all the way down to the 22-yard line. with 1:54 to go, a 47-yard punt. You know, we were talking about some of the moments, Brock, with Coach Bill O'Brien, and sometimes you have those moments of clarity, and he told us that one of the epiphanies he had early was back in February when he first got there, one of the early winter workouts out in the cold. It was a little much colder than it is right now, frankly. He said he had 100% attendance, and that was a good sign for the future that guys were going to buy in. The guys that decided to stay were going to give it all.
Well, with everything that was going on off the field, I'm going to guess, Mark, that football was the safe place for many of these kids to get back to work and get back to what they know.
Monte Ball had a host of blockers out in front of him and picks up the first down at the 37-yard line. Hodges finally making the stop.
And speaking of getting back to what you know, Wisconsin knows how to run the ball, and I like this. A little more of that perimeter run. We saw success on the touchdown, getting those big guys out front. And even though you don't hit anybody, sometimes just taking up space as you see the center, Frederick, pulling out there, and the patience of ball to allow all that to happen in front, and trust your instincts, trust your playmaking and your speed, move the chains.
Phillips sacked back at the 32 by Jordan Hill. An unremitting and unrelenting force in the first half. Number 47.
This kid's come to play, hasn't he?
Boy, at that size, incredibly agile, huh? His third and a half sack on the season. Ball gets the call. And nowhere to go. That time Hodges again. Hodges wearing Michael Mahdi's number today, that number 42.
I think if Penn State did not get the ball to start the second half, well, actually he is going to take it. That's the right call. I think now you put Wisconsin into a situation to throw it, to take a timeout, get that extra possession if you can. Good move by the head coach.
Wendy Nix, what's up?
And you know where the biggest ratings in America may be tonight. If Florida holds on and beats Florida State, they could be in that Gainesville market because no one will be cheering and rooting more for USC than the Florida Gator fans.
Tell you what, that Pac-12 race took a strange turn after Stanford's upset win in Eugene last week. 3rd and 12. Ball going to be stopped up short. And Penn State with 2 timeouts remaining, under a minute to go. Going to use one right here. Last home game of the season for 30 seniors. The Penn State Nittany Lions, Brock, a 14-7 game. This was a game that I thought would be about where it is right now in terms of the offense, correct?
Yeah, every yard's going to be hard-earned on a cold, blustery, wintry kind of day here in central Pennsylvania. You saw both of them start fast, and I think these defenses adjust a little bit, figure things out. And for Penn State, the more they can put Wisconsin in passing situations, the better for them the rest of the game.
How does Penn State get things going a little bit more here in an offensive tenor? Because it has been a struggle for them since their opening possession. They haven't been able to put any points on the board.
Yeah, the one element we've not seen a lot of and where they've been good this season is some of those wide receiver and even running back screens. Their downhill run game been effective, but any play action and screen game off of it, they've not been able to get that started at all.
I'll tell you what, Drew Meyer, partner, just had the punt of the half. A rocket shot, 53 yards all the way down to the 12-yard line, and he gets them out of a little bit of a hole.
But that's okay. And you see many times, Mark, when we do college football and even pro game as well, where I feel like coaches take those timeouts to half. They don't always maximize the clock management. Bill O'Brien did the right thing. You want to make them punt on a windy day like this. And even though it's not an ideal situation, you will get the ball to start the half and be very conservative here. Don't take the timeouts to halftime is what I'm saying.
First down and 10. Floyd with a little screen pass. Swinak going to be stopped up immediately. Speaking of blustery, cold days, I got to tell you, Brock Hewitt, I'm impressed with the fact that you're just going with the suit today. No coat, No undergarments, no Under Armour, no Nike warm stuff, no long sleeve. Just the sport coat.
I'm repping the West Coast. That's how we do it, right?
Or you forgot your coat at the hotel, is that it? 2nd and 14 coming up. Predictions of snow a little bit earlier in the week. As Winnick makes it out to the 15-yard line, picks up 7. And that's going to put a lid on the end of the first half of play. Bill O'Brien's Nittany Lions down by 7. And they will receive the kick in the 3rd quarter. Let's go downstairs to Jessica.
Coach, you've talked all this week about the senior class, the emotions, and the rest of the team. How do you feel like they've handled them so far in the first half?
I think the team's doing fine. I got to do a better job. I got to do a much better job, figure this stuff out at halftime, and just coach it better.
What do you need to figure out?
Just got to move the ball. We got to move the ball and do a lot better job than we're doing right now.
All right, thanks a lot.
Got it.
47 yards passing on 18 attempts, so they have not been able to pay off a productive run game with anything down the field.
On the return, this is Bill Belton. Down to the 12-yard line, and let's go downstairs to Jessica.
Well, I caught up with Coach Bieleman. He told me in the first quarter he was very happy with his team's offense. Second quarter, he said penalties killed them. He's like, there's a reason why we lead the country in penalties. We need to keep that up. And he said defensively, he said take advantage of those turnovers. They should have capitalized and scored on the turnover opportunities they had.
All right, Jessica, of course, Penn State trying to atone for a 45-7 loss last year at the hands of the Badgers. As Winnack between the tackles out to the 22-yard line, stopped up by Armstrong.
I would also expect to see a little bit more of Allen Robinson, and maybe not a little bit more, how about a lot more? This is a leading receiver with 73 receptions coming in, and Allen Robinson had just 1 for -5 yards in the first 30 minutes.
One delivers a strike. Complete to number 15, Alex Kenny.
There's one of those little shots down the field, one of those chunk plays off of play action pass that you think should be there as well as you're running the ball. Find a way to hit some more of those intermediate throws down the field. McGloin has done it all season long.
Winnack again over the 40 to the 41-yard line.
That's a throwback right there, huh? Grass stuck to his elbows. No sleeves. That guy could have played for Penn State in the 30s.
Gets the call again. Winnack stopped up about 3 yards short of the first down. Winnack actually with his 6th 100-plus rushing yard game this season, and his 4th in a row already. The meter's still running on him.
Look at the paint. We love the paint on the arms. The elbow pad's a bit bloody and grass stain. That's old school ball right there.
3rd and 3. Little receiver screen. Here's the guy they need to get it to. Robinson makes a move, got the first down, and out to the 49-yard line, picked up 6. And it's a first down for the Nittany Lions.
We've been waiting for that. That's a big part of what they do offensively. We talked about that going into halftime. This kid had 10 for $197 and 3 touchdowns a week ago, and I understand it was Indiana a week ago, but you got to find a way to get your dynamic people offensively the ball in space.
Winnack over the left side of that offensive line down to the 47. Yeah, back to Allen Robinson. Last week he broke O.J. McDuffie's Penn State single-season reception record. It was set back in 1992. A guy that coaches tell us is great at going up and getting that ball. There's a lot of those battles up in the air. This time they come with a little bootleg action. Caught by Jesse James. James in the open field. 1st and goal, Penn State.
You know, in reading Bill O'Brien's body language when he was talking to Jess going into halftime, you just had the sense he put the first 30 minutes on him. He knew there was more offense there, more opportunities with this, the play action pass and the weapons he has.
Winnack Down to about the 7-yard line. Was that pass intended for Jesse James? There seemed to be a couple receivers in the vicinity to make the catch.
What do you mean, Mark Jones? If you ask Mr. McGloin, of course that was intended for him. What are you looking at?
2nd down and goal coming up. A promising drive here to start off the 3rd period for Penn State.
You just feel the rhythm, don't you? Something they didn't have outside of that opening drive of the 1st quarter.
Zwinak, boy, nowhere to go, ran right into a host of tacklers led by Brendan Kelly. And it's 3rd and goal coming up. Are we looking at a situation where they're passing, like Zwinak again, or Robinson, a guy that we just mentioned, good at going up and getting the ball in the end zone?
The advantage they have, Mark, is 6'6", 6'6", 6'7" at tight end, and Robinson is a high point guy at 6'3" at the bottom of your screen.
On 3rd and goal. Going plenty of time. Caught. Touchdown. Mosby Felder.
The advantage you have of big receivers and big tight ends is even if they're a little bit covered, and that time Felder did a wonderful job, Mosby Felder, of buying some time. That's good in the NFL. He gets both feet down, but McGloin has done this all season long with his big targets. We saw it at times even in that 1st half. Give my guys an opportunity, allow them to use their size and their length to their advantage. That's clearly a touchdown.
Got both feet down. And if it stands, which we think anyway it should, with that being a preponderance of evidence, would be Matt McGloin's 24th touchdown pass this season, tying the school record of most touchdown passes in a single season, held by Darrell Clark.
I love the back judge there. He is right on it. He sees the green between the back of the heels and the end line. And he also does a really nice job of watching all the way through contact with the ground. I think that's what else they're looking at here. The feet are clearly in bounds as he possessed the ball all the way through the reception point and with the ground. Because it's bobbled there. This is not a question of the feet being in bounds. This is a question of possession while he's going to the ground and then regaining and remaining with that possession. I think this is the look you want to see here, Mark. Feet are in bounds. He does bobble the pass. Does he regain possession while he is in bounds?
Well, the ruling on the field was that it's a touchdown. So the evidence must be pretty strong and indisputable.
And again, while he is bobbling that ball, that is the question right there, Mark. And
that's a different angle we hadn't seen.
This was 100% as far as his feet early on. Now you're talking about the bobble and the loss of possession. And while he's losing it, does he regain it? And that may go the other way, to be honest with you. I think
that's not a touchdown.
I think, unfortunately, that bobble is going to cost him. I think you're right. While he is bobbling the ball, McGloin doesn't like it. But while he is bobbling the ball, if McGloin could see all the replays we're seeing, he would see the same thing. He loses possession, and while he's losing possession there, I don't think his feet are in bounds.
This is the version, the angle that really shows him bobbling the ball. This is the one that brings it into question.
So does he have it at that point? I don't think he does there. He loses it. And while he is going out, I don't see a foot in bounds. This has to be indisputable because the call on the field was a touchdown.
So that official has his back to the bobble.
That's exactly
right.
right.
So he can't see it.
He's looking at the feet early on that are a touchdown, but that's not the question. The question is through the reception point. I think he loses control. And ultimately, when he does regain it, it is too late.
Tell you what, they're looking at this one for a while.
much better protection. There's a few indicators there that Bill O'Brien likes. Number one, he scripted some play passes that hit. Number two, he challenged his offensive line to protect the four-man rush, a much better job in a continued mix
After
of
further
run.
review, the receiver did not maintain possession of the ball, and therefore the pass is ruled incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
4th down. Now, do you go for it?
No.
Are you okay?
No, I don't
All right.
think from the 6-yard line I do. I think I've got to find a way with this much time left in this ball game. No, I take my 3 points.
They're going to take the points off the board.
That's what I call. And the folks here, they don't get to see it. If you just look originally as we did, that's not the evidence. The evidence was losing possession through the reception.
Sam Finken in for this field goal attempt. 11 of 18 on the season. He's turned it around after a very slow start.
The referee not taking any of the business.
And this one will come out to the 25-yard line.
Just as I kind of like the head coach, showing a little bit of the fire and the emotion as well.
Well, Bill O'Brien's had a nice little bit of success here this year when you look back on what they've been through, 5-2 in conference play and 7 wins overall. But there is a little bit of speculation as to his future here at Penn State. He has been a little bit evasive, some feel, about the way he has addressed his questions on whether he'll be back next year. And that, of course, depended on some of the various NFL openings that are due to come open. Monte Ball, the single back. Phillips throws it out of bounds, incomplete. Good pressure by Pete Massaro. Remember, the Badgers a very strong second-half team this year.
Just typically those big fellas that we've highlighted today, and on Monte Ball's touchdown run in particular, and Brett Bielema grows them and develops them and recruits them to Wisconsin. Typically those boys up front get an opportunity to wear people down. It's a lot of girth, and that is a lot of size and strength, and they've got to get back to some of that early down success running the ball.
Nice move by Ball, and run out of bounds at about the 31. Gained 6 on the play. The 3rd down and about 4 to go. A nice menu of plays available with that down and distance. 3rd and 4. Incomplete. And what you're hearing are the voices of fans that have hung with their team through thick and thin.
And watching yet another redshirt senior, 59, Massaro, get in the face of Phillips. And it's been over for Wisconsin. When they've been in those 3rd and have-to-pass situations, it's been all Penn State after that first quarter.
Fifth punt. Drew Meyer, the high one, caught at the 32. Nowhere to go for Evan Lewis. And the wins. 1st and 10 for Penn State. Number 28. Drawing throws it low for Jesse James, incomplete.
And that was a miss, and McGloin knows it. And a much better job here in the second half of utilizing some of these tight ends, of finding some of these passing lanes, and as I said earlier, much better protection. That's one McGloin knows he can't misfire.
Hands it off to Zwinak this time. Gains about 2. It'll be 3rd down and 8 coming up. You look at some of the tipping points for this season, and when we were speaking with Coach O'Brien, he said that after the Virginia loss, we thought we could have played a lot better and left a lot of points on the board. And that Monday, he said, we came back, had a great practice, and that was the beginning of a big turnaround for this Penn State team. now looking for their 8th win, looking at 3rd and 8. McGloin under duress and sacked back at the 18. Mike Taylor.
And you can see the body language there. Matt McGloin knowing that first down miss led to a 3rd down passing situation, and this should be picked up. And Zwinak, usually reliable in pass protection, he just whiffs, something that Monte Ball has not done on the other side. That first down led to a really unfortunate 3rd down and a missed opportunity for Penn State.
And Butterworth's punt will roll all the way down just inside the 40-yard line. Well, coverage of Monday Night Football continues on ESPN. 6:30 Eastern Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. 8:30 Carolina taking on the Eagles. Carolina against Philadelphia Monday night at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. And what a story of the quarterbacks in that matchup. Quarterbacks that are having underwhelming seasons. Cam Newton, last year's Rookie of the Year, really struggling. First down and 10.
And this has got to be run, doesn't it?
Phillips hands it off the ball down to the 45. Let's go downstairs to Jessica.
Well, Mark, Matt McGloin pretty frustrated, obviously coming in on the side, and they actually punched one of the Gatorade water jugs, knocked the whole thing down, realized that he had to actually pick it back up, put it up, but he yelled at his team and he said, "I had a guy open downfield. You need to protect me. Let's go."
Brock, what is it like when your offensive lineman hears that? I mean,
well,
you
they
can rub
also,
guys the wrong way sometimes,
yeah,
right?
They're also going to say, dude, don't throw first down into the ground then. You know, it's all about effort and want to. He's a fiery guy. They know that. He's a Scranton, Pennsylvania kid that is tough more than anything.
2nd and 5 on the bootleg. Caught. Aberderis, a great catch at about the 47-yard line, picked up 2.
You know, I said to you earlier here, you get good field possession. Why not just run it 3 times? That is your identity. That's a great catch by Aberderis, who missed one earlier. But if I'm Wisconsin and I'm good in the second half and I got some physical advantages at the point of attack, I think I'm running on 3 downs before I do any of this pass into the winds. Not the strength of this offensive group or their identity.
3rd and 3. Listen to this crowd. Incomplete. 4th down coming up, the punt. Seemed to be in and out of the arms of Aberderis. Stephon Morris, a good job defending.
And very clearly here on 3rd down, defensive coordinator Ted Roof is going to bring it. He's going to put the pressure on until Wisconsin beats him in one-on-one situations. He's going to continue to blitz, and this is a play that Aberderis has got to make. You got to extend your hands by trying to get that and catch it close to your body. You allowed Stephon Morris to break it up. You got to go make that play on 3rd down.
6th punt of the day for Drew Meyer. Takes a Wisconsin roll all the way down to the 12-yard line. They're playing the Big Ten championship game next week against Nebraska. Zwinak right between the tackles and a great burst. First down at the 37. Mike Taylor finally making the stop.
It's called north and south, Jones. And that's not his strength all season long, is beating safeties. His strength is running through that front 7, running through arm tackles, that time not even touched.
1st and 10 after that 24-yard gain.
I think they're going to take a look at this at the end of that run.
Wow.
And I can't imagine what Bill O'Brien's going to do. He freaked out after the first one, the touchdown called incomplete. Well, let's see Zwinak here. He did not, speaking of.
The previous play was ruled, the runner was down. Previous play is under further review.
Tell you what, didn't notice much abnormality after that last play.
And we've had a number of important plays here. Taylor had the interception earlier that was called an interception that rightfully was reversed. The touchdown reception by Mosby Felder called a touchdown, and I think rightfully reversed. Now this was called down, and Taylor does a great job of getting right after the ball. Nothing you can see there. Clearly, the backside as Winnack hits the ground. Let's see if this is a little better look. That is a phenomenal effort by the leading tackler, Mike Taylor, as he's ripping the ball out. The question is, does the backside as Winnack hit the ground before that ball starts to come out?
Boy, that's...
You're not going to see it with that look. Let's see here. And I think you're going to once again be covered up.
The ruling on the field stands. Player was
inconclusive.
Yes, I don't think he had anything there. I think the backside is winning, but that is awfully close. And what a phenomenal play and effort by the redshirt senior himself. Speaking of seniors all along the other side, this Wisconsin defense, 4 redshirt seniors, 7 redshirt juniors. And that's tremendous technique trying to rip that ball out. Also playing without one of their real studs right next to him. First team all Big Ten linebacker last year, Chris Borland, 44, who the Badgers sure hope to have back off of a hamstring injury next week.
First and 10 from the 37. Warren taking a shot up top. Contact and a flag. Intended for Robinson. And it appeared like he got his feet tied up with Marcus Cromartie. Or maybe it was more than that. Brett Bielema was saying that it was over his head.
McGloin getting greedy there. He's thrown into double coverage. He's fortunate he overthrew that ball. And even more fortunate to get a call.
Pass interference, defense number 14, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Bielema obviously calling for the uncatchable overthrown. Well, there's unfortunately a little bit of contact there, just that arm early. As I said, McGloin getting away with throwing into double coverage and a very, very iffy, questionable call going the way of the Nittany Lions.
On the Wisconsin side of midfield at the 48.
Early contact, though, you see that time and again, Mark, in these broadcasts. That's what those refs are trained to look for.
Winnack now over the right side of that offensive line, got about 9. Zach Winnack appearing to get stronger as this game progresses. Team's leading rusher coming in, and he's already gone for over 100 today. This in the wake of a 135-yard rushing performance last week. He now has a career high 147. That sets up the play fake, and nobody there. Gilbert almost had McGloin, but good pressure up front by him. It'll be 3rd down and 1 coming up. That's a veteran move to at least throw it away and not get out of range too much.
And fortunate for him, his buddies Winnack saw him under duress and came back to the football so he could find an outlet and avoid that grounding call.
3rd and 1 for the Nittany Lions to the Wisconsin 39.
They line up out of the eye. Winnack gets the call, gets the first down and then some to the 32-yard line.
This offensive line has done a really nice job, and a bit surprisingly so against the number 9 rush defense in America. Just take a look at that movement, or the lack thereof, of penetration from Wisconsin's defensive group. 4 new starters on this Nittany line offensive line from last season, and they're giving their big back an opportunity to get started.
Winnack again. And he takes it down inside the 30 to the 29.
You know, when you're facing a guy like this, Mark, it is imperative that you make him restart.
Meaning what?
Meaning in the backfield that you create some penetration so he has to hesitate, because if he's got a full head of steam barreling down at you at 232, well, you can see the kind of output tonight, career high both in rushing and in yards.
One of the hardest working men on the field right now. 2nd down and 6. Zordich in for him now. McGloin throws it out of bounds. Jesse James, the closest receiver there, sets up a 3rd down and about 6 to go.
And I know exactly why McGloin is shaking his head, and Bill O'Brien as well, because typically when you're having success running it, you have a 150-yard rusher and you're creating that push, you would think this defense would overcommit. You would think some of that play action pass would be available. But this Wisconsin defense, and especially the back 7 of this defense, is so sound in their technique, not buying any of the play action and covering up these outlets.
Penn State 7 of 13 today on 3rd down. And a pressure coming. McGloin completes it to the 23-yard line. That's going to be a 1st down to Zordich. Working against Mike Taylor out of the backfield. An 8-yard gain and just enough. Zordich still in the backfield. Takes it again, and this time nowhere to go. Stopped up just behind the line of scrimmage by Bryce Gilbert.
A much better job of winning at the line of scrimmage there. And this is what a pro-style system does, right? This is what you would expect from a guy with NFL pedigree and Bill O'Brien. I asked him point blank, how much of a different play caller is he today than his years before the NFL when he was at Duke and Georgia Tech and Maryland? He said, oh, very different. Focusing on those matchups, spreading that ball around. And Matt McGloin doing a nice job of getting everybody involved.
2nd and 10. McGloin steps up, completes it to Kenny. And Kenny ended up about 3 yards short of the 1st down. Mike Taylor, a busy guy on defense on the 7-yard pickup. Approaching 3.5 minutes to go. 3rd and 3. They go quick. Zordich. And he's not going to get enough. Are you looking at a field goal? Let's go first to Jessica downstairs.
Mark, we talk about the leadership of Mike Mowdy. He just had the whole defense get up off the bench, away from the heaters, come down to the line of scrimmage and yell. He said, hey, we need to support our offense right now. Let's get off the bench and let him hear us.
All right, Jessica, right now they're going to go for it on 4th and 3. A defining moment here coming in the 3rd quarter with 3:03 to go.
That's right. Bill O'Brien allowed Matt McGloin to make that last call. He's given his quarterback a whole lot of trust and opportunity, and you could sense McGloin saying, we're going to hurry up to the line of scrimmage and get to that run play. And unfortunately, it didn't work. And I don't mind this, to rethink exactly what you want to do here. Make sure you get to the right call. Otherwise, you're taking 3 almost guaranteed points off the board.
Now, Sam Ficken, the place kicker, he's had his well-documented struggles this year when went for 5 against that in that loss against Virginia. Made a nice comeback, has been keeping in touch with some former kickers here at Penn State who have been successful. Are you losing him by not going for the field goal here?
I think in this game, you have watched your defense do what to Wisconsin after that 1st quarter, have a lot of success. I think you got to take these points. I really do. You watch a rivalry game earlier, and you see Ficken now on the field with Michigan go for it early in the 2nd half, and I thought at the time, way too desperate. There's still plenty of ball to play. I like this call better. Get your points on the board.
Made one from 23 earlier. And squeezes it just inside that right upright.
The face of all they endured and the perseverance this offseason, and a real testament to him that his head coach would put the number on that helmet to represent all that he's done for this program.
Let's go back to Wendy in the studio.
It'll be 1st and 10 Wisconsin. And there's 25.
Wow. What about that comeback? Hey, we were the ones that witnessed Florida State's only loss this year against North Carolina State.
Many people blame that on you too, Jones.
They still love me up in Tallahassee. 1st and 10. Monte Ball brought down from behind. A hard-charging Gerald Hodges, who is wearing Michael Maudy's number 42 today in tribute to his injured teammate.
He likes it. I love that shot. I think this guy's engaged, got the wristband on with some of the calls.
Really, though, is that a live headset or a dead one? Go on. Is there something coming over the sound there, or is that just for effect?
No, I think that's completely live, and they're probably taking even some of his opinion as well. And his buddy Gerald Hodges wearing not just the number on the helmet, he's wearing his jersey too.
On 2nd and 10. Phillips with all day to throw, now takes off. Dives and got rocked. Short of the first down at the 28-yard line. An interesting third. Oh, and about 5 or 6 coming up.
You love the courage here by Kurt Phillips.
Courage?
But you love even
some discretion there.
You love even more the physical play from Jordan Hill that we've seen all afternoon as well. You have got to ultimately win in a one-on-one. This Penn State defense, after this first quarter, has been suffocating. You got to find a way to win on the perimeter.
Aberderis in motion. Incomplete. And it's 4th down. Deion Barnes with good heat up front. A lot of 3-and-outs for the Badger offense here in the 3rd quarter.
And that's a nice, well-designed line stunt, and it was a good thing that Phillips got just enough on that ball to carry it out of bounds. Otherwise, it was going to be 6 going the other way.
Boy, Jordan Hill has been in the face of quarterback Kurt Phillips all night.
And that is why you take the points. You continue the momentum. You continue with this fan base to stay engaged, trusting your defense.
Great punt by Drew Meyer. Back to the 24. Alaval takes it beyond the 30. A 47-yard punt. Well, ESPN's coverage of the ACC Big Ten Challenge continues Wednesday at 7:30. Number 15 Michigan State against the Hurricanes. Then it's Ohio State against Duke. Number 3 against number 5. The ACC Big Ten Challenge on Wednesday. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. 1st down and 10 for Penn State. 1:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. Give it to the fullback, Michael Zordich. And Zordich gets a couple of yards. And one thing that you have to be impressed with is throughout some of the trials and tribulations of this Penn State football community this year, the closeness that they've exhibited, and it's a real tribute to them and the strength that they've given to the players on the field here tonight. The ones that decided to say 2nd down and 7. Going complete on Wisconsin's side of midfield at the 45. Robinson working his way loose to pick up 18.
Well, you see the difference when your quarterback against a 4-man rush has time to allow some of his buddies into that zone defense. And in the first half, this defense was able to get home rushing for. The longer they've been on the field, the less rush they've been able to get to McGloin.
1st and 10, a little counter play. Nowhere to go that time for Zach Swinak.
Brought down by
You see
Allen
the
making the
difference,
stop.
and you see the difference there. If you can just make him hesitate just a bit in that backfield, you don't give him that crease in that direct lane, not nearly as effective.
That's going to put a lid on the 3rd quarter of play. 15 minutes to go in Penn State season, and this is the first year of head coach Bill O'Brien. Start of the 4th quarter, 2nd down and 10 for the Nittany Lions. Zwinak got about 4. Let's go back to Wendy Nix in the studio.
Stopping by number 30, Landish. Unit 4, 36, and the Wisconsin 41.
All right, Wendy, 3rd and 6 coming up. One incomplete for James and a flag thrown. James is working against Ethan Armstrong on the play.
Pass interference, offense number 18, 15-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Offensive interference that time against James.
Yeah, I think there were 2 penalties. They got away with a hold at right tackle, and unfortunately, the bottom of the screen, Jesse James, it's 6'7". Anytime you extend your arms like that, you're going to get the call. But watch the right tackle here. Mike Farrell get away, to me, with a clear, blatant hold there. Can't miss you when you're 6'7".
No. 3rd and 21.
You know what I like in this situation? As long as it's a one-on-one, my receiver gets it or nobody gets it. As we always see, that pass interference call or a holding call, I like taking my shots in this situation.
Allen Robinson, a popular target in this time. Over the middle, complete. That's what it is, Robinson. But he's going to come up short of the first down at the 42-yard line. Good tackle by Southward.
Now,
manageable 4th down in a good position of the field, right, to go for it.
Have you watched your defense? He's going to go for it, but to me, the way the Ted Roof's group has played the last 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters, I'm punting this thing. I'm pinning him down. I'm making him go the long field.
Allen Robinson, meanwhile, has just gone over 1,000 yards receiving for the season. They're going to go for it. 4th and 6. Got a ton of time and a wide open receiver. James. Touchdown, Penn State. They're going to go for 2. In wake of the Jesse James touchdown catches, 5th of the season. And the 24th touchdown pass of the year for McGloin.
Was a touchdown. Previous players under further review.
McGloin's about to lose
Look at the kid from West Scranton High School. He's had enough.
He's not feeling that replay official thing today. Did he stay in?
Yes.
Sure looks like he did.
That should take about 2 seconds.
They're going to go for 2 here.
That's the way you atone for pass interference, by the way, on 3rd down. And that's the way, as a quarterback, you gain the trust, and why Bill O'Brien felt good about going for it on 4th down. He's clearly in bounds all the way through.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Well, a 2-point conversion makes it a 7-point game.
I didn't particularly like that call, playing the percentages, knowing you could punt it down. But those two have a connection, there's no doubt about it. Bill O'Brien likes the way the McGloin has played this season. He's developed further and further trust as it's evolved. He bought time, he allowed James to get open. And what a monumental play and conversion on 4th down.
Winnock on the handoff, and he got it.
Lost in his zone coverage. Jesse James finishes on the other end.
There's Doe on the return. He's dangerous, still on his feet, and he's got wheels. Brought down, though, on Penn State side of midfield at the 49-yard line. His 2nd impressive kickoff return of the game.
Can I
44-yarder.
Can I just say it right now? Can I just see 3 straight runs from Wisconsin? Instead of the cute play action pass and everything, let me just see 3 straight runs right at Penn State. And I don't care if they put 10 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Talking about do what you do. It's always been the thing that Wisconsin's offense has been identified with. Looks like we got the barge formation here. Deontay Ball. Not much room. Might have gotten 3 yards. Brought down by Hill. Called Jordan Hill's name a lot tonight. 2nd down and 8 coming up.
He has played a phenomenal game, but that's okay. 3 yards on 1st down. Give me another run. Give me another run. Play to the strength of my group. The strength of the group of Wisconsin is that group at the offensive line.
The ball again. Brought down just beyond the 45 at the 44. It'll be 3rd down. About 5 to go. Hill again making the stop. He's been one of the more active players up front for Penn State.
He has played a lights-out game, and Bill O'Brien knows that if you are going to stop this Penn State or this Wisconsin run, Ted Roof has counted on his boys in that front 7, and Jordan Hill in the middle of that line. His shed blocks has gotten his hands on this massive Wisconsin offensive line, and he's finished his tackles.
3rd and 5. Blitz coming. Phillips picked it up, but couldn't find his receiver in and out of the arms of Kenzel Doe, who should have caught that.
That's 2 occasions now. Aberderis in the 1st half on a 3rd down slant. And Doe there.
Boy, he's got to make that catch.
When you play the game the way Wisconsin does it, and you run it, and you play ball possession offense, you must be efficient on 3rd downs.
8th punt of the game for Drew Meyer. This one up, and a fair catch called at the 15-yard line. Pass complete down to the 22-yard line. Nice catch on the play by Alex Kenny, a gain of 7. You know, we were talking about how this offense is different, and I was speaking with my South Florida neighbor, former player here at Penn State and Miami Dolphin, O.J. McDuffie, former great receiver. He says, Mark, I wish I'd played in this offense.
Yeah. More opportunities as they spread the ball around.
2nd down and 3.
And at the same time, that big back in the backfield, 32 carries tonight.
Nowhere to go for Zwinak. Under 11 minutes to go. 3rd down and short to go. Literally inches. It's looking like a situation tailor-made for Zwinak. Or a quarterback sneak by McGloin. McGloin keeps it himself.
You know, I said to you earlier, when you run the ball and you play the game in the style that Brett Bielema does at Wisconsin, you better be efficient. And Wisconsin hasn't been on 3rd down especially. And that's why you look right now, Penn State 73 offensive snaps to just 40 for the Badgers. Almost a 2-to-1 number. Really good balance throwing it and running it.
1st and 10, little play fake. Under heat, gets rid of it. Oh, in and out of the arms of Allen Robinson. Boy, McGloin, in fairness to him, he's had some dropped on him. 3 that I can remember now.
McGloin has done a really good job of buying some extra time, and that's a play that Robinson has made all season long for McGloin. And tonight, Robinson has not been able to get into rhythm, did not get those catches early, and that's a big miss on an aggressive 1st down play pass call.
2nd and 10 coming up. Lloyd taking his time at the line of scrimmage, making his checks. Zwinak. Boy, he keeps those legs moving, doesn't he, Brock? Moves the pile. Got about 4 or 5 on the play. Actually, let's make it 6.
Gain of 7 to the 33-yard line, 3rd and 3 for the Nittany line.
Big play play here, and Wisconsin has played so much zone defense. Watch for the check down. Watch for your back out of the backfield as the outlet on 3rd and short.
Timeout.
Penn State.
Nittany Lions call a timeout. We're going to take one with them. Incomplete, and that pass tipped at the line of scrimmage seemingly, and harmlessly falling incomplete. 4th down, and they're going to have to punt.
And a little better effort there by that Wisconsin front four. They have played this game very conservatively on defense. Maybe some of that is without Borland and some of their key people, and decided to continue to play zone, and that time got after Bill O'Brien's offensive line, forcing the punt.
6th punt of the night coming up for Alex Butterworth. A line drive returnable one. Aberderis well covered and brought down immediately at the 18-yard line. A 45-yard punt, and great coverage by Penn State. Right now, let's take a look at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Allstate. All the attention on #1 Notre Dame playing tonight at USC. You'll see that game on ABC at 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
And a big one here for Jimbo Fisher in Florida State. You've heard him talk all week long about feeling like, hey, what do we have to do sitting here at 10-1 to get into the mix? Well, what you got to do is beat one of the powers. And out of conference, matching up with Florida right now, and a touchdown up. And right now, Wisconsin a touchdown down with this crowd engaged.
Up top and caught, complete to Derek Watt, and a 1st down into Penn State territory. Great touch on that pass by Kurt Phillips.
That's exactly what it was. It was touch, Mark, but with this wind, he didn't mess around either. He put some good velocity and got that ball up and down. And Derek Watt with the big touchdown block, chopping down the safety of Penn State on Monte Ball's record-breaking run, comes up with a big chunk play pass down the field.
33-yard gain. There's that barge formation to the boundary. And Monte Ball wrestled down and brought down hard. Back to Wendy in the studio. That Bedlam game, always a classic. 2nd and 15.
Gotta think Pedersen's gonna get involved at some point, don't you? 48, their marquee tight end.
And quiet so far, and incomplete. Knocked away from Monte Ball. 3rd and long coming up. This Wisconsin offense has ground to a halt here in the 2nd half. And a little heat coming. Complete. Aberderis with the 1st down at the 33. And another strike by Kurt Phillips.
That was an excellent throw and a lot to poise to stand in there knowing that gut blitz is coming right at you. And a good route. And finally, Kurt Phillips is saying, finally you finish and catch the ball on the other end. Needed that one badly.
18-yard gain for the 1st down. Under 8 minutes to go.
Thrown right into the teeth of the wind as the flurries are picking up.
Yeah, did we mention the snow?
Let's see the debris flying around on the field.
Monte Ball cuts it up. And is brought down at the 27-yard line. Got about 6 on the play. Monte Ball set the NCAA record for career touchdowns on his 1st score of the game. And tied the rushing record career-wise. Always have a feeling at the end that he's going to be a factor in the success of Wisconsin offensively.
Got to find a way to get Jordan Hill blocked in the middle of that defensive line. Been a monster for the Nittany Lions today.
They fake the fly sweep, and Ball gets the carry. Going to be close to that first down. Mike Hull making the stop. They're going to mark it short of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and about a yard to go.
And this is mindset, and I
They're
like
going to go quick.
Get up to the line, 2 downs to get the yard.
Phillips keeps it himself and gets the first down. Penn State with just 1 timeout remaining. Wisconsin with a full complement of 3.
Now, the nice thing for the Badgers and for Brett Bielema, he knows this is the way his team is built. Their last 8 losses since 2010 have all been by 7 points or less. A week ago, they forced an overtime game against Ohio State. They are plenty used to these conditions and these situations, playing close to the vest. This is what it's all about. Big Ten football in late November and some snow flurries. You can get better than this.
On the reverse, Watt. Not enough wheels, not enough speed to turn the corner. Pushed out after a gain of 1. A little over 6 minutes to go.
Converted linebacker, as I mentioned earlier, the younger brother of J.J. Watt, and even the younger brother, TJ's committed to the Badgers as well. That Watt family all in, and it was his wheel route, his big play that really started this drive.
2nd and 9. Pedersen splits out. Ball in motion. Phillips. They're going to say it caught at the 6-yard line.
You got 2 refs, 1 signaling catch and 1 signaling incomplete.
And they're going to say it's a catch, or are they bringing it back?
Well, that left foot was clearly out. Did that right foot, and did Pedersen have possession with the ball when his right foot was on the ground at all?
They bring this back. They spotted the 20.
Well, for as much as they've looked at every play, I think that may be worthy of a second look.
That's what Phillips is saying. He's pointing to the official saying, are you sure you don't want to look at this?
Brett Bielema as well.
3rd and 9. Is it Aberderis time again?
I think it is Aberderis or it's Pedersen. In these critical moments, you got to make sure you get the ball to your best players.
They're going to run it. And Ball with nowhere to go. 4th down coming up. Marty cheering on his teammates as Hull makes the stop on the play. No gain.
Oh, and I don't know if I like this call with 5.5 minutes to go and 3 timeouts. Didn't particularly like a run into the boundary on 3rd and extra long, and now you're not going to take the 3 points.
Wisconsin's spot in the conference championship already determined next week. 4th and 8.
One-on-one to the bottom of your screen is Aberderis.
Phillips into traffic and picked off. Vagnano with the interception.
We saw a 4th down by Bill O'Brien and McGloin, and they get it. They deliver for a touchdown, and on this 4th down, it was a one-on-one on the outside until, unfortunately, Aberderis ran right into the free safety, Vagnano. And
McGloin at the helm. The receiver screen incomplete, and was that a lateral or incomplete? Now they're going to say that the pass incomplete. Let's go back to Wendy in the studio. All right, Wendy back here. It's Winak. Hitting about 2 yards. Sets up a 3rd and about 8 to go. Still plenty of football in Wisconsin, though. Down 7, but they do have 3 timeouts remaining. And people going to look back, if you're a Badger booster, at that last decision to go for it on 4th down. But here a pivotal point for Penn State.
You can see the debris on the field blowing around, and you can tell the direction of this wind. It's been swirling all day on a very chilly night.
Blowing. Incomplete. Broken up. Intended for Mosby Felder. Is well defended. Still seemed like it hit Mosby Felder in the hands. And you can understand if Gloin was a little upset tonight with not only his offensive linemen, but some of his receivers. And you see him emoting openly.
Yeah, and we've seen this on both sides on a really cold night. We had the shot earlier of O.J. McDuffie. The great receivers still trust their hands, still utilize their hands to go out and make a play. Both Penn State, Wisconsin receivers have had a tough time bringing it in.
And O.J. McDuffie from Penn State down to the sidelines there to coach those guys up a little bit, perhaps. Punt down to the 33, and let's take a look, folks, at our hardest working player, brought to you by Polaris. Listen up. That one hurt. And that one made it feel better. Zach Zwinak with a career-high rushing day today. 173 yards.
He's saying, can I get a little room on the bench? I mean, all I've done is carried it 34 times. Cracking helmets.
Well, in back-to-back weeks, Kurt Phillips making just his 3rd career start with an opportunity to bring his team back. And working in a clutch situation here, James White in the backfield. And he gets the call on 1st and 10 out to the 37-yard line. Jordan Hill again making the stop.
Now, there is no reason to get out of character. And Jordan Hill is, by the way, have I mentioned, he's been an utter monster tonight making plays. But for Wisconsin, he got 3 timeouts, 3.5 minutes to play. You're only 62 yards from pay dirt. You may want to pick up your pace in and out of the huddle a little bit, but you don't need to get out of the character and identity of your offense.
2nd and 6. This is Gordon, and Gordon gets the 1st down out near midfield, and a nice run. Good gain by the Badgers. Here they come. Picked up 9.
He's got a little extra juice. He had the 57-yard touchdown on the play pass earlier. Just a redshirt freshman. Be in Madison for a while and fill some very big shoes one day at Monte Ball.
Here's Ball. And Ball gets about 6. But Wisconsin moving the ball well here, the early part of this drive. Ball with the 24th 100-yard rushing game of his great career.
Play fast, but never in a panic.
Phillips, dangerous pass, but caught by Hammond. Well, Showdown Saturday on ABC concludes with a bang. Manti Te'o, #1 Notre Dame, taking on USC, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 Pacific on ABC. All part of Showdown Saturday. Ball cuts it up to the 40-yard line. Got about 2. And they're going quick.
And now with 2 minutes to go, you still have those 3 timeouts. Now it's got to be exactly what they're doing. A little bit more up-tempo and picking up the pace.
Phillips overthrows his receiver. Stephon Morris there in on coverage. Sets up a 3rd down and 8.
And I don't know if there is a more difficult throw than the deep out across the field. And on a night where it's about 30 degrees and a wind chill of about 18 and those winds are swirling around, I don't know how much I want to be messing around with deep out passes.
Well, Phillips, a Fifth-year senior, but just his third career start tonight. Slings it and completes it. A clutch catch and pass down to the 26. Jordan Frederick with the reception. 1:48 to go and a pickup of 14. Wisconsin speeding things up a little bit here.
Plenty of time with 3 timeouts.
Phillips hit and miraculously hangs on to the ball because he got stung. Jordan Hill drilled him. Or Jordan Hill. It's not often you notice those big guys in the middle of the defensive line, Brock, but how can you not with him?
You can block it up. I like double moves in this situation.
Timeout, Penn State.
And Penn State uses
There's
its last
third
timeout.
and final timeout.
Well, a good breather for Jordan Hill. Well, Brock, we said at the top of the show that not many people expected this Penn State team to be where they are. Some people predicted 2 wins, 3 wins, said they looked like a Division II team after the defections. But what they're doing, really punctuated by tonight, is phenomenal, really.
And you've seen these seniors. You can't talk about them enough. I mean, to stick around and to not leave, and then to come out with this kind of effort from beginning to end. Impressive to watch.
2nd and 17. Phillips caught at the 20. A fluttering pass caught by Frederick.
Jordan Frederick.
Got 14, but still short by 3 yards. 3rd and 3 coming up. Finds his man underneath. And a great move by Doe. And it's 1st down and goal to go, a 10-yard gain.
Got 2 timeouts. You've got 4 downs now. Do not panic and do not rush. And for Penn State defensively, you've done it all night, Jordan Hill. You got to find a way to penetrate.
11th play of the drive for the Badgers. They hand it off to Ball. And stopped up behind the line of scrimmage. Do they use a timeout here?
Timeout.
Yes, they
Wisconsin. Their second.
1 more remaining
timeout.
for Brett Bielema. You're basically looking at 3 more plays to get it into the end zone here.
And you still have the 1 timeout. So here, before you burn it, everything is going to be available to you. And these are always the situations, and you know this from this season, Mark. We haven't had a lot of close games, but when we have, I have a very simple philosophy, and most coaches do. I have got to get my best players their touches. Just as you have finishers.
And for Wisconsin, you're talking about Monte Ball.
You're talking Monte Ball, you're talking Aberderis, and you're talking about a guy that's been incredibly quiet tonight. That's Jacob Pedersen, your 2nd leading receiver, who caught you the touchdown at Ohio State, against Ohio State a week ago. And if you're Penn State defensively, I'll be real curious here with Ted Roof. He's had so much success getting after Phillips and bringing that pressure and bringing that blitz. He's going to have to trust his guys outside in one-on-one situations to do so.
Empty formation. Phillips caught at the 2-yard line. That time it's Pedersen, his most reliable guy, his 2nd leading receiver. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Plenty of time. You do not need to rush here. You still have that timeout. And this has got to be Monte Ball time, doesn't it?
It's been the popular choice all year. They hand it off to him. Ball stopped up. Stuffed back at the 5. 1 shot to get to the end zone now for Wisconsin. Who else? It was Jordan Hill. And a timeout called by the Badgers. Their last one. And a fierce tackle by Jordan Hill.
I'll say it, in 5 years of doing this job, I have never seen a defensive tackle take over a game from beginning to end. I mean, this guy has said, I didn't leave campus. I didn't want to leave the football offices. I'm a senior. I'm all in. I'm invested in everything else. And right now, his technique, his passion, his strength, and his want to and will has been the dominant effort at the line of scrimmage.
It really is the lasting image here of this Penn State defense, perhaps the team and its spirit. 4th and goal. This is the ball game. Ball in the backfield beside Phillips.
Sprint right.
White in motion. Into the end zone. Touchdown Badgers. Caught by Duckworth. Wow. Phillips found the window and squeezed it in there.
I tell you, this team is built for these moments. They seem to handle these close games so well. And what a great call and even better execution.
Extra point now coming from Kyle French. And we are knotted at 21. An impressive drive led by Kurt Phillips, making just his 3rd start of the season. The 5th-year senior who's undergone 3 different ACL surgeries on his knees. Leads his team downfield into the end zone to tie it at 21.
And what a really good call. And give Matt Canada, the first-year offensive coordinator, some credit here. What has Penn State done? What did Jordan Hill do? Almost single-handedly destroy you at the line of scrimmage. So to take him out of that monumental play, what do? You move the pocket. You get out on the run. You give your mobile quarterback a chance to run it or throw it. And you minimize the great strength of Penn State. And you find a way, as Brett Bielema's crew often does, to keep these things close and to finish strong.
Can't say enough about the poise of Kurt Phillips on that last drive. And now 18 seconds to go. Matt McGloin going to get a couple cracks here, although Penn State with no timeouts remaining.
Well, these seniors wanted to play a little extra ball, I guess.
Take the touchback. Does Bill Belton. Let's go back to the studio and Wendy Nix. Okay, Wendy. And Penn State gonna go to the sidelines, talk this over to the head coach Bill O'Brien, and strategize for overtime. Looking for their 8th win of the season. The swing of emotions, Brock Eward. Pulling ahead to lead by 7 until, well, late in the game. Less than 2 minutes to go. And then the defense surrendering that late touchdown on the great pass by Phillips. How do you recover for something like that? I mean, does the emotion now swing in favor of Wisconsin a little bit, or is you starting from scratch?
Well, did you feel what I felt within this stadium? It was supposed to be the perfect ending and a way to send your seniors out, and instead Wisconsin delivers. And Kurt Phillips was clutch on that final drive. But on a day where we talked about emotions really from the beginning and from kickoff, well, now here's your real challenge for the 31 seniors to get back up. And this is where the Michael Mattis and everybody on that sideline need to be talking to each other. It's not over. We're fine. Even though right now Wisconsin owns this momentum, you have got to go back out there. And as you watch that whole group have that conversation, you got to go back out there and do what Penn State football has done all offseason, and that's come back swinging.
Matty accompanying the captains out for the toss here for overtime.
the tail. Winner gets offense, defense. Toss. Play defense. Then you want to play it. Plant that in. Face that direction then, please. Over here. You guys go over there. You're on offense. Come on. Wisconsin won the toss, and we'll play defense.
All right, so the Nittany Lions will
Penn
start
State
off on
has chosen
offense.
to play at the north end. First down.
These two teams so evenly matched over the last 8 games. They split the last 4. The Badgers lead the overall series 9 games to 6. It's the 16th meeting all time, and look at their respective overtime records. Let's take a look back at how we got to this point. A couple of big 3rd down conversions. This was one of them.
Some unsung heroes. Some of these younger receivers, inexperienced receivers making plays. That was Pedersen finally getting involved, and I love the call on 4th down. Penn State's been so dominant between the tackles. Get outside of that mess. Give your quarterback an opportunity to put it in the end zone. And Jeff Duckworth, well, he just absorbed that rocket shot for a touchdown.
There we go, 1st down from the 25. On the bootleg, a little miscommunication there as his receiver Mosby Felder began to turn it upfield, but Gloin had a different script.
Well, once again, this Wisconsin crew, I think on early downs, on 1st and 2nd down, I don't think they have pressured all day. They're making Penn State beat them. They're sound in their technique. They're right in the face of McGloin and really force that throw away.
Winnack on 2nd and 10. Moves the pile inside the 20 to the 19. Mosby Felder in motion to the bottom of your screen, now sets. Blowing up and out of bounds, threw it away. And it'll be on the toe now of Sam Ficken if Coach Bill O'Brien wants to go that route, which he will, it seems now. Good pressure up front by Allen.
Well, that has really been the difference. When Wisconsin has found a way to get off the field on 3rd down, it's been their front 4 as well. And what a big kick this is for Ficken.
He's already made a couple today, 2 for 2. This one from 37. And he just squeezes it inside that left upright. So now it's up to the Penn State defense. Not much room for error on this one.
Yeah, it's a good thing it wasn't much further back, because that thing was working left. But once again, speaking of emotion, speaking about responding, how about Ficken this season after such a brutal beginning to really finish this year strong?
Yeah, missed those 4 field goals, went 1 for 5 against Virginia. Stayed off of Twitter and Facebook for about 2 months after that. Any turnover by Wisconsin, and the game is over. Dante Ball dotting the I formation. And ball brought down by Jordan Hill. Let's go downstairs to Jessica real quick.
Jared Aberderis will not be returning. They did take him into the locker room, and trainers confirmed that he will not be back in this game.
All right, he has a problem of some sort, but boy, what about the play? Jordan Hill, like you said, those big guys usually just take up space for the linebackers, right?
He has just been phenomenal. So no Aberderis means more Pedersen. It may mean with that dominance inside, find a way to move that pocket just a little bit more.
2nd and 9. Pedersen in motion. Phillips, backside pressure and sacked. The ball came loose. If Penn State has it, the game's over. Sean Stanley knocked it loose, and Phillips clearly lost control of the football. And they're going to give it back to the Badgers. Regardless, though, third down and long coming up. Stanley never gave up on the play, Brock.
This Penn State crew never gave up on this season, Mark.
Third and 12. Almost intercepted, in and out of the hands of Carson, who had a pick within his reach, and he knows it. Fourth and 12 coming up.
A week ago, we saw Oregon have an opportunity in overtime, Michael Clay, to gather up a fumble and force a second overtime. Instead, it went through his hands. Mr. Carson had a chance to finish the Badgers right there. Let's see if Kyle French can make him pay.
His first attempt today from 45 yards away for the tie, and to send it to another overtime period. And Bill O'Brien is going to put him on ice on a frosty day here in University Park, PA.
And only timeout. 30 seconds.
What do you think Michael Motti was thinking? He can't believe that Carson, his teammate, dropped it. Well, that's why he's a linebacker. Motti still very much the voice of that defense. Now it's a pretty windy day. We've talked about it.
A good shot there, Larry Johnson Sr., the defensive line coach, saying, hey, into this wind, the swirling winds, get your hands up on that defensive line. Kyle French is going to have to get some oomph and drive this ball. Get your hands up.
And 44 yards out. Got it down. Penn State wins.
Can't even begin to imagine what this feels like. All this crew has been through, all this senior class has endured. Don, we saw a motion earlier.
Let's go downstairs to Jessica with Coach O'Brien.
Coach, we've talked all game long about the emotions of this senior class, the emotions of this team. How were you able to get them to focus and get this win?
They're a bunch of fighters. They fight hard. They're a bunch of great kids. It's been a memorable year. You know, we're not an undefeated team, but I think we're a hard-working, tough football team. And you know, at the end of the day, that's what Penn State's all about.
How do you summarize the emotions that you feel right now, this community, this team, the way that they felt and fought this year?
Well, I just feel great for these seniors to go out as winners in front of this crowd, and you know, I just feel fantastic for this senior class.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
McGloin and 30 seniors tonight cap an unprecedented season, an emotional one that have taken them the entire gamut, and they come out with a win, 24-21. On this miss by Kyle French, and a new era of sorts in Penn State football.